the beginning of September 2024 on the Austin, Texas subreddit, a post was made about a very strange discovery. Stone crosses in South Austin. Anyone know what's up? Went hiking with my sister and dog today at the Westgate and Stastny area, and we kept seeing piles of rocks made into crosses. We stopped counting at 11. Does anyone know what these are? One of them had animal bones mixed into it. Weird voodoo or just memorials? Below this, as we can see, there are a multitude of images about these bizarre stone crosses. They are surprisingly large too. In the comment section, the OP came back once more to share some more details. We didn't see anyone around, but there was a ton of trash back in the woods. It was creepy though, with cross after cross. Felt off. Definitely going to find new paths to walk the dog because I don't want to meet their architect. My dog is big, but she's a wussy. She'd knock me down and then run to safety. On the surface, this is very creepy. I know that if I suddenly saw this on a hiking trail, I probably wouldn't be coming back to it. But usually phenomenons like this wind up having a very logical answer. I was totally expecting these rituals to have some sort of historical significance or something like that turns this seemingly creepy mystery into something much more mundane. However, upon scrolling through the thread some more, I was met with answers that I could not possibly expect. Call APD 311 and tell them you think Rami Zawaida is back in the neighborhood. He escaped custody from a mental institution in June. I don't know whether he's still wanted. Good luck getting APD to do something. Google him and talk to your neighbors. Homeless man who terrorized South Austin neighborhood escapes custody. This is my comment in that post. Zawaida has been arrested in Travis County 6 times in less than a year, and all the cases have been dismissed or rejected. Zawaida's mother agreed. She drove from New York to Austin and spoke with Fox 7 last week. She said she'd been in town for about a month because she was planning on taking Zawaida back home with her. She said she was told city officials had come up with a plan for Zawaida and that he would be picked up, not jailed, but taken to a hospital, evaluated, stabilized, and then he'd be on his way to New York. Time passed though, and Zawaida was still out in the Greenbelt terrorizing a new neighbor. Residents hope for more action on homeless man with chainsaw. Residents in the Westgate and Stastny Lane area have been reporting sightings of a homeless man chopping down trees with a chainsaw in a nearby Greenbelt. He's very profane. He's beginning to target me and my little dog, talking about murder, calling me obscene names, Westgate resident Debbie Horn said. She said she called 911 more than 30 times, but I just don't have any help. Just hours after Fox 7 contacted council member Ryan Alter's office, the district attorney's office, county attorney's office, sheriff's office, and the Austin Police Department, Zawaida was picked up and taken to a hospital. City officials said it was a voluntary commitment. Zawaida's mother said an order of protective custody would be filed. She said she hasn't been able to get in contact with her son since he's been picked up, but hopes he will call soon and agreed to head north with her. A city representative couldn't tell Fox 7 how long Zawaida would be receiving treatment in Austin. Upon searching for Rami Zawaida, I can confirm that these details are in fact true. Apparently, he has been terrorizing South Austin neighborhoods for at least 2 years, with some residents even saying that there is a definite method to his madness. He knows exactly how much to push before he pulls back. He knows what he can get away with.
Crosses made out of boulders. A sign Rami Zawaida is in the area. Residents have spotted him building sculptures, taking a sledgehammer to city property, cutting down trees in the Greenbelt with a chainsaw and machete, and screaming at all hours of the night.
From what I've read, it appears that residents seem to be at their absolute limit regarding Rami, and are outraged at the lack of action continually taken against him. Going back to the Reddit thread, there are more people from the area sharing stories from this ongoing situation. Supposedly, he's threatened to murder people out on walks, and there are even rumors that he has killed stray cats. I live on about 1 block from where one of the crosses are. I just recently found a smart key outside of my home, a verified lock-picking tool, in the back patio area, and am truly concerned he tried to break in but gave up very recently. Last year around this time, he would specifically target my home and steal water from my downstairs faucet, carrying large gallon containers of the stolen waters on his bicycle. I filed a 311 report and I reached out to the APD district representative and left a message, but 311 told me I should keep calling. They have 14 days to respond to my concerns. Super great feeling. I am very, very uneasy and scared. With all these details coming from anonymous people, I of course can't confirm whether all of these things are true, but sadly it wouldn't be too far-fetched based on everything I've read, even regarding the stray cat allegations. His rituals do feature animal bones in them. While the public has been in a state of pandemonium regarding this escape, as of just 3 days ago at the time of writing this, I did see that Rami was taken into custody once again.
Homeless man accused of tormenting a South Austin neighborhood for years is backing up in the Westgate area, and witnesses said that Zoeda was behind it.
It seems as if he's gotten out many times and resumed this exact same behavior, so it remains to be seen if things will truly be different this time. I wondered why exactly Rami was doing everything he was doing, and I saw many people stating that for him it was a religious fixation. He believes that these woods are the hub of Satanism. He believes that Satanists leave the trash. While the situation is genuinely terrifying, it also ago we talked about a mystery involving a website called Gandalf.com. If you want to hear it discussed more in depth, I would highly recommend checking out our first Reddit video, but to quickly summarize it, it was a website with an eerie layout, and if you clicked this woman in the middle of it, it would say, "Gandalf is busy, go away." For over 20 years, this is all the website had to offer, and to this day it still sits in this exact state. Nobody really understands why this website exists, who made it, or why it's still up, and so it's been a mystery for many years. As a result, you may be wondering why we are covering it again, and that's because one of those massive questions has actually been solved. A few months ago, a Reddit user created a post about Gandalf.com, except unlike all the other posts, this one had a bunch of new information. By entering the website's domain into whooxy.com, they were able to find out that the owner of the website was a man named Dan Cowper. Gandalf.com was also far from his only website. He had a website called blamebush.com, and if you visit it, all it has is one piece of text that just says Blame Bush. However, if you visit it on the Wayback Machine, you can see that it used to be much more expansive. He has a website called dcowper.com, which also just has a single piece of text on it. This one says, "Welcome. Why are you here? No one else is." On one of his other sites, waveability.com, you can see the same pattern showing up once again. Finally, there is dancowper.com, which actually does have more than just a single sentence of text. This one gives us a few details of Dan along with a few photos. "I was raised in the mountains of Southern California. Despite personal tragedies, I was able to build a web design company to support both local and international businesses during the web's explosive growth at the beginning of the millennium. The global economic rollercoaster has presented many new challenges. I consider myself a Renaissance man and have a strong background in computers, science, finance, law, and business. With this website last being updated in 2014, it is significantly more modern than these other websites we discovered. What's even more modern than that is that he actually has a Reddit profile too, which seemed to be last used just 3 years ago. That being said, it doesn't feature any details about Gandalf.com. I was able to find one of his email addresses during this dive, and I did send an email to him about Gandalf.com, but as of now, I still have not received a reply. If you recall, there were a number of theories that were consistently given regarding what this website's purpose really was, and with the new information we have now, perhaps we can rule some of them out. One of the main theories was really simple. It was basically that this website was a planned project that the creator never got around to, and the reason it's still up is because the creator just doesn't want to lose the domain name. We gave examples of Redditors mentioning how they had many websites like these and were only reminded of them every few years when they got a renewal notice, and they just renew it whenever that would happen. However, judging by Dan's other websites, I'm not so sure this was an unfinished project. It seems as if many of Dan's websites were purposely bare bones, and for that reason, it does make me believe that what we see on Gandalf.com is intentional. One of the other main theories we discussed last time was the idea of domain squatting. The theory was that since this website came out just a little bit before the Lord of the Rings movies, it was attempting to grab that Gandalf address before an official company did, so that they could buy it from him. As we stated before, this was definitely a common practice at the time, and as of now, I still can't prove or debunk this theory. There's truly no way of knowing if this is why the website was named Gandalf.com or not. With all of Dan's sites being around and with him being active online but never having answered any of these questions, I do share that belief that he probably just doesn't care much about the sites anymore but keeps them up just because. So while we unfortunately did not solve every single question regarding the mysterious Gandalf.com, we do finally have our answer for possibly the biggest mystery of it all, its creator. Last time we mentioned this mystery, it was likely to never be solved, but with this recent information coming out, maybe that can change after all. About 9 years ago, a poster by the name of AFH43 would create a Reddit account, and it very quickly proved to be one of the most tragic in the website's history. Things started pretty normal though. His first ever post was about sneakers, as we can see here. Many of his early posts were about clothing, fashion, and similar topics. There were posts about Jordans, Supreme hoodies, FL Studio, and even a roast on the r/roastme subreddit. Soon though, he began making posts on philosophy subreddits. They still weren't anything alarming, but many of them seemed to involve the idea of infinite data and things of that sort. Things seem relatively normal until this post. The theory of quantum immortality has driven me to a state of pure anxiety and terror over the last week. Is it true? Has it been debunked? I can't do this anymore. For those who don't know, quantum immortality essentially refers to a thought experiment that you will never wake up dead. The physicist Max Tegmark suggested that we may die many times in our lifetime. Each time this happens, our consciousness moves, slides, jumps, or shifts into the next timeline, very similar to the one in which we died. Basically, you would never really experience death since you would keep unknowingly moving into the next timeline. Thus, quantum immortality. In the comment section of the OP's post, many people were trying to calm him down. What has you so worried? The thing about quantum immortality is that, even if true in some sense, it never really applies to you. Not this you. It applies to all the yous that might exist, an infinite number, and that one of them might, through chance, live a very long time, move to a robot body, uploaded to a computer, etc. From my perspective, it would still be me, though, would it not? Well, yes and no. It'd more likely be another you who has hitherto lived exactly the same life, so there'd be no difference between what this other you goes on to experience, and what you would have experienced if you hadn't died. But then the you that died could get resurrected and you can continue experiencing consciousness that way. Science has billions of years to come up with a way. So what makes you anxious about the idea, that it might be true or that it might not be? What makes me anxious is the fact that I don't want to be alive against my will, I don't want to live forever. Sadly, this would be far from the only post about the subject. Not long after this original post, this one was created. The theory of quantum immortality has driven me to a really dark place. I'm living in a state of pure terror. Is there reason not to believe it is true? Can it be debunked? The majority of the replies mention that quantum immortality is nothing more than a thought experiment, so it isn't worth getting this worked up over. But of course that answer was not taken. As the post went on, they seemed to just get more and more concerning. The possibility of quantum immortality is making my life unbearable. Is it a credible theory? It makes complete sense to me, and I can't believe I'm the only one losing my mind over it. Existential crisis, it won't stop, I need help, I can't do it anymore, I fear that because I am something in this infinite universe, I will always be alive. Quantum immortality, it makes so much sense to me and it is ruining my life, what do I do about it? I need to rest. In this post in particular, somebody asked if the OP suffered from depersonalization or derealization, to which the OP replied, yes. By this point, commenters were getting really frustrated. He posted about his fears of quantum immortality extremely often, but whenever posters replied to him, he would never believe in or be able to take in their answers. Not long after all this, he would tragically make his final post. Quantum immortality. I'm killing myself soon. It's too much, I can't do it anymore. To this day, this is the final post that exists on his Reddit page, which naturally raises the question of if this poster is okay, and if he's even here anymore. Users on Reddit have been left in the dark for almost 10 years due to this final post, and as such, the poster has been cited as one of the most tragic ever on the website, with people hoping that he is still here, and maybe just isn't using Reddit anymore. Fortunately, I did find some answers. I'm using a Reddit searcher. I was able to find out that this poster actually came back a few years ago, but these more recent posts were all deleted for an unknown reason. His first post upon his return was in 2019, just 5 years ago. It was actually on the relationship advice subreddit. While recovering from a psychotic breakdown, I, 22 male, met the only girl, 22 female, I have ever fallen in love with. Due to my state, it didn't work out. I am considering asking her out again. I am AFH 43. A regular feature on those dark/creepy Reddit history threads. I am still alive. This is a very long post, but it essentially serves as a retrospective for what exactly happened to this OP, as well as, of course, this current situation, which is why it's on the relationship subreddit. He states that, "Nearly 3 years ago, I woke up one morning and my mind simply broke. I believed that because of quantum immortality, I would never be able to die and therefore would experience all of the greatest sufferings possible over and over and over again for all eternity. I felt there was no escape. It was like a panic attack of the highest intensity that did not end for weeks. Surviving an attempt only worsened my delusions. It was only once I started using antipsychotic medication during my stay in a psych ward that I began to put the pieces of my life back together and return to normality." He mentions falling in love with a girl around this time, but because he was still recovering, it was sadly just the wrong time and it didn't work out. He mentioned that he only finally started coming out of his shell after that relationship ended. "My girlfriend was a pretty incredible person, and over the last year with her, I learned to enjoy life, to become free and uninhibited by anxieties. I became open, I became comfortable with myself and who I was and with the constraints of my existence. I made peace with my experience, with my delusions. Today I am happy and in control of my life, truly." As this post ends, he mentioned that because of this newfound sense of purpose and happiness, he wonders if he should reach back out to that girl once again. Since this post was deleted, I can't see what the replies were, but I'm sure many of them were relieved that the poster was still alive, though since the post has been deleted, that revelation has mostly been lost again. It's so relieving to hear that for the most part, things are looking better. This was in 2019, as I stated, but in 2022, there was one final update, and unfortunately, the news is not as good as this one. This last post seems like it was just posted to the OP's profile and it says, "I'm still here. Unfortunately, I'm still here. For a few years my life has been pretty good, but at the moment I'm having an unrelated breakdown and I'm in the hospital for other mental reasons. I wish I could take my own life, but I'm still too scared. Maybe it's worth facing it though. I'll have to face death eventually. I'm stuck in hell and my life is f***ed. I might turn to drugs to have some relief from this relentless pain. I just need to sleep and never wake up. Maybe that can be my reality. I just can't do this, I feel alone, I'm terrified and numb at the same time. The default state of my life is suffering. If anyone can help dissuade me from this, please tell me, but please don't make it worse for me. I'm in agony. Nothingness is a beautiful thing, I just want out. I know it will transfer the pain to other people and that makes me feel horrible. I wish I didn't have these beliefs. If I didn't, I wouldn't be here right now. Since my last post, I've been diagnosed with OCD, and that explains a lot. I've been given Seroquel today to help me start thinking rationally. This may sound stupid, but this situation has to do with heartbreak and very specific and absurd triggering factors related to it. Maybe that sounds stupid, but I found love, real love, and now it might be over. I am suffering. I don't want to be here anymore. I wish this was physical pain instead." Again, this post was deleted too, and I'm not sure how long these two posts were ever even up or anything. As the post stated, he was in a hospital getting treatment and he was recently diagnosed with OCD, which is something I did see theorized on some of the Reddit comments in the past. This is a very heartbreaking way to leave things off, but it's important to mention that recovery isn't always an uphill slope. Sometimes there will be really rough lows, and hopefully this was just one in the wider process towards a brighter future. The OP did get an important diagnosis that pieced many things together as well as treatment for it, which is some very important news. There were certain specific aspects to these posts that I did relate to, and if that's true, I'm sure I'm not the only one. If any of you have experienced times of extreme mental anguish, just know that even if it isn't a perfect upward slope, it is possible to recover, to still live your life to the fullest. We've talked about some very dark subject material tonight, but this post on r/Reddit from Dirty Empire 69 is just asking, what mysteries from the early days of the internet are still unsolved to this day? The top comment was asking about the origins of the Rickroll trend. For those who are somehow out of the loop, a Rickroll is an ancient internet meme that was used to bait people into clicking promising links only to be met with Rick Astley's 1987 hit song, Never Gonna Give You Up. The answer was not very far, as right underneath a commenter had a pretty confident response. It started on 4chan, the original was an anon on V linking to the GTA 4 trailer. Doing some basic fact checking, it looks like this user is 100% right. Cataloged by the Guinness Book of World Records and Know Your Meme. The first ever Rickroll occurred in 2007 on the video game board of 4chan when a user claimed to have a preview of the new GTA 4 trailer. Upon clicking the link, users watched history happen. From here, Rickrolling became one of the most widely known memes of all time. Personally, I still think the meme holds up much better than most late 2000s memes. The Rickroll was not the first bait and switch meme format either. Its origins came from a much earlier version called the Duck Roll. This all started when 4chan moderator Christopher Poole replaced all versions of the word egg with duck, so when someone mentioned an egg roll, you would get the term duck roll. The term duck roll led to a user making an image of a duck on wheels, and from there 4chan did their thing and made it huge. The bait and switch aspect was identical to the Rickroll. They would hook you in with a clickbait link, and upon clicking it, you are met with a duck on wooden wheels. Some aspects of the story are a bit mysterious. Why did Poole do this in the first place? The answer is probably just the epic sauce random humor of the era. As for why Never Gonna Give You Up was chosen in the first place, well, Vice Media was able to get an interview with the man who started the trend, Sean Cotter. Cotter was born in 1987, and when looking for a song to trick people with, he chose the top song of his birth year, and that happened to be Never Gonna Give You Up.
I first discovered Never Gonna Give You Up when I was looking on the internet. Songs that were popular when you were born, among the songs that were on there was the Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley.
I genuinely was not expecting to find the entire origin of this meme. It's not something I ever thought of, and when we were writing this video, we came across this post and had no idea the Rickroll was so widely covered. It's an interesting and quite fitting origin for one of the most famous memes ever, and hopefully next time you use it, you think of the history that you were a part of. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to like the video and subscribe. If you like the channel, make sure to check out our social medias, they're going to be all in the description below. Make sure to stop by our Discord, it really is the best place to chat with us and hang with fellow Debunk enthusiasts. Of course, if you'd like to support the channel just a little bit more, head on over to our Patreon, Debunk Plus. Only $1 a month and you guys get access to videos early, script PDFs, whatever random stuff we decide to put up, and more. As always, my name is Sep from Debunk File. See you guys next time. Bye.